Hi everyone, me again in cloudy and somewhat rainy Smyrna, Georgia on a lovely Monday. My fantastic wife is on her way to San Diego. She'll be there soon. Turn around, she'll come back tonight and I'll pick her up at the airport. That's what she does. This is what I do. I ride, she works. It's a great arrangement if you can work it out. Just wanted to give you a sit rep. I haven't been able to really vlog the last about 3 weeks or so, maybe a little longer. We've had a very busy month. We went to the Spider Adventures in Maggie Valley, a long weekend, 4-day weekend. We went from there back to my home in Stanfield, North Carolina, and stayed for a day or so. Then we headed out to New Bern, North Carolina, to look after my grandkids for a few days while my daughter went to some continuing education classes. And then we left there and came back here, and we started watching the grandkids for a few days. Now Susan's got to work again, and the time just flew by, and we were exhausted. And that's all part of being old and having a lot to do, apparently. But anyway, I thought I'd get out here and give you a sit rep on everything that's going on. The biggest thing right now is the mighty Kia, my 2007 Kia Sorento that I used to pull our 14-foot, 7-foot wide trailer with both the Spider and this beast on there, the V-Star on it, when we go places. It's also our camper, impromptu camper. Well, it started making a little bit of noise toward the back end, and fearing it might be a wheel bearing or something like that in the back, rear axle bearing, I took it into the Kia shop, and it turns out that the ring and pinion gear, after 221,000 miles, is finally starting to give up the ghost. It has not failed, but it's just starting to make some noise, and that's always a good time to bring them in and have them checked and replaced if you have to. It's going to have to be replaced. It's not going to be cheap. The guy told me it'd be about $1,600, including the labor. That includes the labor, and we'll see if it turns out that way. But you know, really, for a car that's done as much as it has, and to be in perfect condition other than that, I mean, there's absolutely nothing else wrong with it. And I expect to get a lot more miles out of it, even though we have sort of semi-retired it. We're not pulling it anymore. We don't pull the big trailer with the Kia anymore. Thanks to a friend of mine who didn't need his truck anymore, we're now the proud owners of a 2012 F-250 Ford pickup truck. And it'll pull the fillings out of your teeth with no trouble at all. Doesn't even know the trailer's back there when it's fully loaded. And we're hoping maybe in the future, next year sometime, if we can find one for the right price, we're looking at a truck camper to go on top of it. And that'll enable us to pull the trailer with the bikes in it, plus have a place to stay, and that'll make it a lot easier for us old, poor, almost retired folks to go out and visit places like Iron Horse Resort and some of the other places we like to go to, and maybe travel a little farther afield at a very reasonable price to stay overnight. The difference is, to get at the Iron Horse Resort, for example, it's $100 a night for just a modest room, whereas you can camp out in the RV park there for $30 a night, and that includes electricity, showers, bathrooms, the whole thing. They even offer meals if you want to pay a little extra. So we're looking forward to it. This is what our plan is. You know, you need to have a plan when you retire, and my lovely wife is going to retire eventually. She keeps pushing it back a little bit. She's trying to find the optimum Social Security check working as little as she can balance, so that we can maximize the revenue and minimize the work. It's always something good to do. I am fully retired, of course. Don't miss it a bit now. I did when I first started, but I don't anymore. But other things, this is going great. Since the spark plugs were reinstalled, it does do something that it never did before. on the rare occasions when I go to crank it, it doesn't immediately start up. But if I blip the throttle just a hair, it'll pop and catch fire and go ahead and run. And don't know what that is, but it's not a big deal. It's still running, runs great, knock on wood, and hopefully it's going to go a lot, give me many more miles. Let's see what else is happening. Well, not a whole lot. My mother-in-law is doing well. She's 90 now, I think, and that's the main reason I came down to Smyrna to help out, was to help look after her. And fortunately, she hasn't needed a lot of looking after, so we've been able to travel, and I've been able to go back up to my home in North Carolina quite a bit. But she's doing well. The grandkids are doing well. My kids are doing well. Everything's going pretty good. This is the Monday before Election Day here in Georgia, well, really everywhere in the United States, for the midterm elections, they call it. And I'm sure you've been bombarded, like I have, endlessly with ads on TV and claims by one candidate and counterclaims by another. And I'm pretty sick of it, but I guess, everybody is by now. I'm not no special person in that regard. But if you are a legal resident of the United States and you are registered to vote somewhere, I highly encourage you to go vote. It is the one thing and the only thing that you can actually do that has an effect on who governs you, and that's on the local all the way up to the national level. You might say, well, my little vote doesn't make any difference. Well, if you'll look at some of the recent elections we've had, even presidential elections, in some states it comes down to just a few hundred votes, and that makes all the difference when the winner takes all as far as the Electoral College. So, I don't really care what you believe. I don't care if you vote for him or her or it. Just you really should get out and exercise your privilege, which so many people have actually sacrificed so that you'd be able to do that. I know it can be a hassle. I early voted this year, which I didn't do the last election. But I early voted. It was painless, and I highly recommend it for the next election, because if your state's like mine, it ended early voting last week. So you got to go in on Tuesday now to vote, but you'll have fun. Every time I go, I'm in a little small community in North Carolina, and every time I go, I run into 4 or 5 people that I know, and we sit there in line waiting to get in to vote. And it's old home week. You get to talk, see people you don't often see, and just talk about families and all that stuff. It's really good. Oh well. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to try to do a little better on vlogging. Of course, now here it is almost wintertime, and it's actually fairly chilly here today in usually sunny Smyrna, Georgia, but I'm hoping it's going to warm up eventually. It's supposed to rain pretty much all week, and I'm actually taking a chance now. Radar showed rain all around me. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. What the heck was that noise? Oh, that must have been the train, I guess. I hope it was. Hope it wasn't something I lost. Seems like I got everything. But anyway, hope everybody has a great day today. If you haven't voted, get out and vote tomorrow if you can. You guys overseas, just never mind. All right, everybody take care. Bye-bye.